Charlie McGrath, I'm the founder of WideAwakeNews.com and a host on the Rinse Radio Network. It was just a very few days ago that the Senate got together and with a vote of 52 senators increased the debt ceiling by $1.2 trillion. Just a couple of days ago. We've already spent $120 billion of that $1.2 trillion with the intent of spending $300 billion in the next couple of months. Out of control spending, out of control borrowing, out of control government, out of control collusion. Being given, all these things are being done for multiple different reasons that are being sold to the American people. As of late, it is fear. We need to fear Iran. We need to fear whatever dictator we want to go after next. Because if we don't go out and act militarily or back military action against these people, then we will lose our liberty. We will lose our freedom. We will lose our lives to terrorism. Now, Franklin said a long time ago, those that are willing to give up their liberty in order to have safety will get and deserve neither. Now, since a decade ago with the passage of the Patriot Act, and most recently the National Defense Authorization Act 2012, and many pieces of legislation in between, we've seen this legislation used as a drill to get inside and tear apart the Constitution and usurp liberty from a nation. Now, what's come out of this, what's grown out of this legislation has been the security industrial complex that has not acted to protect our safety and liberty, but it's been nothing more than a virus spreading across this country that's costing us so dearly financially that any kind of real recovery is completely and totally a pipe dream. So with the continued disenfranchisement, the continued spending out of control and the collusion between Wall Street and Washington, D.C., we've seen the disenfranchised go from protesting in the streets to peacefully to outbreaks of violence across the country. Unfortunately, these outbreaks of violence are not going to stop because the disenfranchisement is not going to stop. The corporate corruption is not going to stop, and the military projection around the world leading to the economic situation we're in is not going to stop. Now, the mainstream media and the power elite are going to do absolutely everything in their power to blame this on everybody from illegal immigrants to the Tea Party to the Occupy movement to people who are on welfare, whatever, anything and everything in between, rather than looking at what really brought us to the condition we are in. These things I mentioned before, they're not the cause of the problems in this country. They're the symptoms of the disease, this virus that has gripped the nation. Now, the ultimate result of this is going to be the collapse of a nation and a breakdown of civility. Now, what are we going to get offered from the political elite? We're going to get a fresh face. We're going to get somebody new in front of a camera, making all kinds of promises, placating the crowd. But it's really going to be just a Trojan horse. Because at the end of the day, when they achieve their political aspirations, they're going to vote in the same exact policy that we've seen under Obama, under Bush, and on down the line. Liberty killing, freedom usurping, indebted legislation that's going to lead the country further into debt. Same legislation is going to be backed regardless if it's a Democrat, Republican, red team, or blue team. The end result is going to be we're going to have more debt, we're going to have a death of a nation, a death of freedom, and legislation that will expand the military and security industrial complex, whose number one attribute seems to be turning American people and citizens of the world, for that matter, from human into animal. And these animals need to be corralled and pinned and tagged for their own protection. There is no freedom coming out of these pieces of legislation. There is only more heartache for now and more heartache going into the future. Now, if you think that sounds far-fetched and you think that sounds conspiratorial, please understand that just in this few-minute commentary video, 10 phrases or words that I use are flagged by the Department of Homeland Security as potential threat, potential link words that they need to watch when they see them on social media outlets so they can tag the person who said them and find out what they're talking about. This is not the land of the free. This is the land of the never-ending police state. The story that shows the Department of Homeland Security's tag phrase words and the social media networks that they're currently monitoring will be attached to this video, but for now, that's all I got.